You know when we talk about the medium, or I say we, I say I.
Yeah.
Go on about the medium, like where you've got one of you, and I should really do this a bit more. Egyptian understanding.
Yeah.
Reality seems to be a piece of glass in multiple ways. So you have them within, and you have one outside of you. So reality becomes a splice down the middle of two instances happening at the same time, one aware of the other. Think about it like this. If you were to look at yourself through an atomic parts of you missing, but parts of you are there. Now the next thing would be to understand what this is, and each piece is separate to the next piece. Yes? So your organs don't glitch into each other, into your skin, doesn't glitch into your bones, and yada yada yada. So you could look at that as and light as well. Could you imagine trying to fuse two objects together? So humans fuse all the time. When you fuse your mind with reality and you create something. And when you create something out of that, you have just taken the outside world and the inner world and you've combined them together and you've created an object. So if I go to the outside world and I see these, and I think, I could do something with these. And you make something very patterned, put together. I fuse inner world with outer world, and it's come together. It wouldn't have formed naturally unless I took the two, so the quantum and physical, and merged them together, which makes the three. So yes, it would exist as a thought in quantum, yes? It would exist in physical reality as a poppy and a willow.
Yeah.
And I would exist in reality at the same time, in that moment. So in reality, it's the poppy. In reality, it's the willow. Would exist as both, and neither together in my mind. They come together, but it will exist together, but only in the mind, yes?
Yeah.
How do you bridge that gap? How do you fuse that? It's a thought, after all. Is it real? No. Because it's in the mind, you haven't done it yet. And in reality, it's telling you that that is just a poppy and a willow. But in my mind, it's saying, I see these together. I see these. But reality argues with my mind and says that it's not true. So, I'm going to fuse that knowledge into a single moment. And now, I have the poppy. Yes. I have the willow. Yes. I also have my mind, and it's now proven. My mind says, yes, reality is now confirming, and reality is now confirming that my mind and reality are both in one. That's you've just fused something. Now, if nobody else had that thought, not saying that they wouldn't, not meaning that I'm special or anything else, but if no one else had that thought, but I just thought it and whizzed on by, it would never come a part of reality. It's basically like trying to fuse the invisible with the visible, and then confirming in reality that that has happened, and the quantum is, yes, confirmed, I see it in reality. And it's sort of like a relay button. And then you've just fused two instances together to make it possible on both sides. It's a very interesting thing. So you think about the arrows here. Look at these as arrows, and this is the window in between.
Yeah.
These are the arrows. That's pointing to that middle juncture. So life is like it, where you're two contradictions in one. You are here, but you're also not here. And in the not here, you're also here. Let me try and narrow this down a little more, make a bit more sense. Do you think the star is taking two pieces of something and trying to crash it together to make something else? Or do you think it's taking a piece of something you can't see versus something you can see, and it's trying to force these two objects together, which then create a new object entirely? And if it holds together well enough, space doesn't hold together very well. It's almost like a negative liquid. You can observe its forces on bodies, right? Where it pulls things, it really tries to have a go. Well, this is very reminiscent to darkness, black hole. It's something is not quite enough. And to say that a star is sending light, which is what, massless? Doesn't contain any mass. What about if it contains the darkness within it? It's trying to force these two objects together, has failed to do so, and it's half pushed together to make a third object. So you take a piece of something, which you could say is a hidden periodic table.
Yeah.
And in order to know one way or the other, you would have to experiment. So you could look at the invisible gaps that appear and try and poke it with something, because you think that that's where people would go first, right? And so maybe it's not interacting, or maybe it is interacting, or maybe it's not. Either or, that will then keep you hunting for something that will interact with that. But how could you possibly figure something that is nothing out? Take another way. Here would be it. People will try and make an invisibility cloak from it, taking all the pieces of nothing and trying to dot these around. Wrap yourself. People sit there and say that the best way to travel would be using a black hole. That's technically not a bad idea. But could you imagine wrapping that shite rather than around a craft to bend space, but around you? You take all of those pieces of nothing that appear to be nothing, but are actually something. There's something that is almost inconceivable to say that, oof, what the hell is that? The visible and the invisible. Now, is the visible of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yes, so on, a reverse -1, -2, -3, -4, -5? These nothings appear in abundance. You know, when drawing that last picture on that, where the instability, the final black hole, and the outer skins.
Yeah.
The instability is an interesting thing, isn't it? And how stars just do not like to be put together. But what is that makes up a star, that makes it so that it doesn't want to be near anything else? And what makes up the black hole that makes it want to be near other stuff? So you could argue and say that the light is massless. But is it massless, or is it a grade of what we don't understand? So to give you another example, just to really quickly help bend this one out a little bit, is skin, yeah?
Yeah.
But it doesn't, it's very different and identifiably different to any other object. Yes?
Yeah.
Wood is identically assortment of different types of wood. So that's in the identical range, but not quite. But it's very characteristic and different to skin.
Yeah.
Other objects, blah, 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 X, Y, Z. Do you think the star is trying a sorting process of taking one object and combining it with an invisible minus the other, and it's adding two of these together to come up with a third? Okay, it's one of one object, two would be the other, and then this one will be the third. And it's trying to push these together.
Yeah.
And sometimes it just won't go, the bastards. They just will not crush together. And ping, oh fuck, there it goes, it's light. And in this massless object that's now semi-glowing, which you could then say is like thermal nuclear, which would be a light, yes? Wait, is it thermal? Anyway, either or, charging them up. Charging up those nothings and sending them sailing out. Now, clearly them in abundance must be here, and an abundance of something must be here in order for two somethings of either or to come together. Something's pushing these objects together to a certain degree. If there's enough pressure and there's enough hold towards it, mass, they stay together. And likewise, this whole universe seems to be filled with a darkness that can only be described because the mind has shut down a sensor and has shut down a visual in order to give you clarity. But if you were to take all of those nothingnesses and you've added 1 versus 1 equal 2, then you get a new outcome, which would be the next ingredient. But you need 2 to push together of the same sort. 2 and another going together might not hold together very well. And let's imagine it would be in skin. Your skin might be this one and this one bundled together under the right circumstances that keep you together in this moment. This one and this one is your liver. This and this one is your kidney. This and this one is your... And this is what stops both sides of these nothings from moving in and out of each other. Because if not, you'd be able to travel through everything, walk through floors. Actually, floors wouldn't support you. Nothing would, because you'd fall in between the invisibles. And the invisibles would pass through your physicals, but they don't. Could it be magnetism? Possibly. Or is it two invisible somethings that you can't see being forced together to create something else, and something unique that's different to something else? Could you imagine taking all of those invisibles and wrapping it up as an outer layer?
Yeah. That would be something, wouldn't it? Something nothing. Because it's invisible.
Could you imagine seeing all of those invisibles only and telling the computer and the camera, let's say if you make a camera, and at the moment it's trained to focus on, let's say, physical objects, yes? So reality. So in the mind, there seems to be a quantum reality and a quantum reality on the outside, but inverted, the mirror image. The fine line is the glass. And then you've got imagination versus reality, and both can affect each other. Okay, sure, after time, the third eye has been sort of forgotten about, I would say. Just sort of pushed to one side. Deliberately, accidentally, evolutionary, whatever. But both can react in the... And then you would understand it that creatures without eyes, how they see. Very interesting, who's seeing correctly. What type of starlight is the correct one? Another way to think about it is inverted. So you invert the physical with the quantum, and you swap the quantum with the physical. So you get a computer, And rather than it focusing on reality, that's the physical, the body that you can see, the objects that are filled in.
Yeah.
And then when you've stood back from the picture, all of that nothingness blends in this mosaic of physical. But there is a quantum version to it. So you have the quantum reality. At the moment, cameras seem to focus more on reality than they do the quantum.
Yeah.
What happens if you could invert it and see it? Now, two questions I'd ask is one, how would you know you're seeing it? If it turned it into the same object, is it the same but in reverse? If it is in reverse, how does it look? Is it sort of like looking in the mirror to see the left versus the right? Eerily similar, but not quite.
Not quite the same.
So the whole duality is two instances of reality living simultaneously at once versus the mind that are two that come together at a simultaneous moment, like pieces of glass that are put into you like a cross. One piece of glass coming this way,
Yeah.
where you can push your imagination out into reality. So that would be like hallucination. You would take it as a hallucination if you were artificially inducing it.
Yeah.
I think that's what allows for a lot of hallucinations. But back in time, when the eyes were not quite as good little tools as they appear to be, this would have built your picture on hallucination. Interesting, but it would have been seen like every day. And could you imagine if reality, they probably got different troubles with being controlled. They probably got dropped in little chemical reactions that help them hallucinate. They found some mushrooms from here, took it to alien world where they have no eyes, and they started giving their population all of these little mushrooms to try and infiltrate the picture somehow of what they're all seeing. Dude, this is good, dude. But yeah, anyway, but still, their own version of control, and they have to break free. Either or. Yeah. But the invisibleness of nothing, it seems invisible. It seems not to affect us. It seems not to play a role. They see the reverse of it.
Yeah.
But you see the reverse of it because it's you converging in 2 points, 2 moments. So if you could take the camera to see just the quantum reality as opposed to in your mind quantum, because you can shut your eyes and see reality, can't you? Yeah, when you memorize something and you think back to a memory and how the trees are moving and the clouds were whizzing by and you get to see the grass moving. Anyway, you can really take some snapshots and all the people that were there. Blah, blah, blah. You can walk through that shit like it's still here today. Shades of grey, I'm sure. Different levels of concentration, perhaps. So you can take that reality and bring it in, but you can also take the inner world and bring it out. Think of it as a sheet of glass. Now, if the ancients were more becoming adapted to their senses were coming online, then it's possible, highly likely, that they were able to see their inner imagination out. Their quantum world appeared to blur at the same time as physical reality, as what you see now.
Yeah.
In other words, like a hallucination, but completely different in fact that it was a controlled hallucination. There's a big difference. Controlling your hallucination is seeing it in your mind and pushing it into your reality so that you can see it in front of you. Now, that takes a little bit of... that's going to take you a little bit of training to do so. I'm pretty sure if you ever wanted to learn that. Now, I can do this. If they were seeing this is where you ask the question.
Yeah.
One is, what were they seeing and what were they capable of imagining? And again, how distracted does that keep you? until those sensors really come online and one fizzles in the background whilst the other one manifests or starts working properly, because it's got to start collecting data. So you could imagine them being very, very creative, I'm going to say.
Yeah.
And then some of it, most of it, was controlled. A lot of it, not. And with this type of ability, you see, there would always be fear that something might come and play around with your imagination. If they figure out the quantum. Do you ever think that? And then they could make you see certain things from above, just by affecting your overall collective imagination. Do you get that? Do you understand that? Most people can think very similarly.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that? That's a very similar.
Yeah.
And if anyone thinks outside of that ratio, it appears like perhaps they've been taken over. Maybe they're another alien. It's like a little puppet. You can see it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be inconceivable. If you started playing around with this, does it mean that you can get through reality without being seen? You wouldn't show up on nothing, because most cameras wouldn't know to pick this up. They wouldn't be looking at it. So you'd have to zoom in to see it. You have to zoom quite way in to see this. Just what sort of a picture do you create if you are to invert it? That emptiness with replace the fullness with the emptiness and the emptiness with the fullness. If you were to just switch it. And then I ask another question. Then, what's the truest reality? Which one's correct? Which one are you seeing correctly? Do you see how it poses quite a lot of questions, doesn't it? It still gives you the is it or isn't it? And then could you have a version of nothing in a version of something, living in a version of nothing while you are in a version of something? They're in a version of nothing. The bits you hit into, they don't, but they equally hit into the bits that you don't hit into. Does that sound... So twins, in a way, yeah? Imagine cutting a human down in the middle and sticking them to a pane of glass. One version of them is walking around interacting with you, which looks like a full person. But there's bits of them missing. But equally here. But equally not seen. And you all walk around like panes of glass. Now, take the human again and not only take the half, but now split the half again and stick it to another pane of glass. So now it's in 2 panes of glass, cornered. It's a weird way to think about things, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Does that give you something to think about? Is that like taking you on a little journey, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
And the massless, that appears to be massless. So you could say the thing trying to push 2 objects together and it just, for whatever reason, pinged out the stuff. And then a solar panel lays out. And light seems to be this way, maybe. You ever notice how even videos are all in pictures? And your reality is in that same loop as well. But it's... cameras give the game away. But you're trying to bring it up to a speed that might already be life forces, yeah? On, off, on, off, on, off. It's almost like someone's giving you power up, power off, power up, power off. You're not. It's almost like you are part zoom, 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 at a certain ratio. That's and in that your reality is sending bursts of data into your brain, and enough for you to process at this momentum time. That's just like you're strobing, like pulsing, almost like here, not here, not here, not. Like you're here, but you're not. But you are, but you're also not. It's almost like flickering between two of the seen and unseen. So reality is seen strobing,
Yeah.
which you think is really fast.
Yeah.
And then when something goes really fast in front of you, you don't see it. You can appreciate that, but when something really whizzes by,
Yeah.
you just do not see it. So you know then that your life force is picking up and diminishing, as you call it every day. It's actually pulsing. It's the life pulse, you're pulsing. So reflex speed is limited to what your pulse ratio is. If you imagine if you could speed this up, so if you could speed up your life force ratio,
Yeah.
then things would look very different and you would take in more data. Interesting. And this is kind of like the camera bringing in flicks and things are moving at your ratio of life force. But you can speed it up, but you wouldn't see it as much. It would blur and you could slow it down and then you see more. So you're at a certain pulse ratio to be able to see only so much. If you slow it down, do you notice how much more? If you take a slow motion camera and it was to be recording for the whole day,
Yeah.
and it times 2 below what you currently experience. So it's going to have a life pulse force of that's beacon speed is the life speed. If you took another one and you times 2'd it above what you can see, that's its life speed increased.
Yeah.
And if I took another one and sped it up and sped it up and sped it up, and if I took another one and slowed it down and slowed it down and slowed it down and slowed it down, you're on a spectrum of life awareness in that pulsating, which feels like all the time, doesn't it? But it's not. It's actually, it's pretty fucking slow. Yeah, so reality is a bit like this, yeah, in a strobing. So if you had massless light or whatever, the nothing, it sort of almost goes together, but it starts to heat up just as much and pings out, bounces up. And this hot thing's flying. And as it hits into something, it absorbs, that heat absorbs, and that nothingness just sort of, well, it doesn't exist anyway, so it passes straight through your reality. Perhaps not, perhaps it bumps off. And this is why solar panels work.
Yeah.
It's absorbing that bit of nothing, just smack one into another. Interesting. So is it passing through you? That's another question.
Yeah.
Does it have to be a certain type in order to pass through you? Because if it did, then is it the mass, the object that you can see that protects your liver from merging into the bit you can't see? And are you held together by bits of nothing? Is it categorized? Is it categorizeless? Is it the reverse of it? These are very provocative questions, by
and
the way.
if there's something wrong, you can get some disease and something grows into something and perhaps you die. If the other part doesn't work, the invisible force. Maybe. I don't know.
No, it's this invisible nothing that seems to be everywhere.
Yeah.
but it's been turned off. And reality bursts at this ratio, very slow, and as the light absorbs into things, you are casting a picture. Is it hitting into something else that's bringing it towards you? And then light travels. Is it traveling? Or does this stuff have the pull? Is the liquids of the space pulling? Is the heliopause pointing towards the black hole? Are all of the stars pointing towards it, always as it's rotating away from it? It always keeps its tail toward it. Let's give you a clue.
Yeah.
But is the darkness being
Pulling and the stars are pushing away.
in one galaxy to another is sort of whipping this liquid? Bringing every bit of existence to it along the way, like a rug, more like a liquid. A reversal liquid of what liquid is, where the isotopes start going in the minus. Wouldn't that be weird to take a camera to see that? It'd be one thing to see it, then find some tools to interact with it, then try and work it out as to what it is. If you were a nation that worked that out, that nothingness, and found a way to travel through it, I mean, that would be pretty impressive. What about a life force to do that?
Yeah.
That is one of the best cloaking advantages you could ever make, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it would be a little bit pointless if they had dual reality and quantum glasses on. I mean, now that takes you somewhere else. Interesting, isn't it?
It is.
Trying to bind things with bits of invisible stuff that appear so mundane. And you have to get the right ones to go together. Oh, okay, that one goes there. Gotcha. This one's got to go here.
Yeah.
Oh, right, now that's making this. Oh, look, it's holding together. But not when it comes to the black hole. It pulls those apart, but it tries to pull those apart in space. Even comets, liquids, don't stand a chance. It's almost trying to pull life force from it, trying to separate it. The rest of it is just not strong enough to do so on its own, but liquids, it's easy to do so. It can do that. It can pull it off. So in a way, it pulls what it can get. The rest of it, not so good at that. That's a bit too together. Can I introduce you to the black hole? What we are all made of. That's lovely. But might I add, without us, you wouldn't exist either. And we wouldn't exist without you. Poetry, baby, poetry. And then you'd have to ask another question. Are you just the third thing in two? So you should really call it the Trioverse.
Oh.
And then on top of that, how many more are on top of that? Do you ever hear religions ever say that God will be with you through the darkness?
No, but I don't know much about that. I haven't heard that one.
Not about that. You never heard about that.
No, I haven't. I don't remember that.
You haven't?
No, I don't think so. I really don't remember.
Because, whilst you're focusing on this one and this one, guess what you're not focusing on?
On the middle.
Yeah. And then how much working out do you think you have to do before you got all of those pieces before it unlocks that middle. Do you think that's an unlockable middle? Do you think that you can put these pieces together?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I,
You don't think life forms would have to do something along these lines?
yeah, they do, but I just don't know.
Work out all of this shit,
Yeah.
try and squish it and squash it all together.
Mm.
Well, hello. Welcome to heaven, motherfuckers. I thought you would be bigger. I know, just messing around, but still, you know. Just gotta put these pieces together and just sort of.
I've heard some stories from like old legends that it's different in each like whatever culture what they say, but it's like fairy tales. It's not anything like this. Like going behind the big river, and you need to have coins, or you climb a ladder to the heaven, or you go to the gate and they either send you up or down or something like that. It was in different tales, so, but I'm not much educated in any religion. So, but what you say is different. It's middle, medium.
The visible and the invisible.
I think we don't see quite a lot, don't do we?
The is it or the isn't it? Yeah, well, no, we don't see all of what there is to see. You got to think about it. If you're not limited to a life pulse, this will disturb your visual attunement.
Yeah. And we have different attunements with birds and
Camera.
cats and camera. Yeah.
Oh, attunement and that variation of life form.
Different life forms and different technology. One camera can see, as you said, slow motion. One camera cannot see.
In faster and faster and faster, but yet all saw the same moment.
You know,
But now if you went to each moment independently, well, what did you see? Well, I saw this. Well, I didn't see anything. Neither did I. And then we go to another moment, and it was like, hang on a second, I just saw a fly whiz by. Oh, that's not what he said. You want to give me a statement on that? My pen works. You can borrow mine. Okay. Thank you very much. Next one. What did you see? Oh, I saw a fly and this go by. And the next one's like, what did you see?
and the next one says, "What is a fly?"
I saw a micrometeorite. All the rest never saw it. You swear this in a statement? Everybody saw the same single moment, and yet in very different ways. And what about the infrared? Then what about ultraviolet? Like, you just keep going.
Yeah.
Which one of you is telling the fucking truth? I am. You should all say on 1, 2, 3 now. We all did. Synchronicity. And then you wonder how the world, on a smaller scale, how it sees existence. Completely different to you, yeah? But is it any less true? Or any more believable than yours? White wing, nice dark box in that. And a dark wing with night light blobs in that. Oh yes. And to be the vessel in the middle. Wouldn't you like to be that? Yes, say yes. You know you do.
Yeah.
But is it or isn't it? And then another one this way. Well, does that mean there's one this way? Yes, there is. What about this way? Yep, now we're slicing cakes, but keep going with the human. We ain't got much left of it. existence, far more trippier than first explained. Would this be then called quantum mechanics? Never studied it, no idea, only know it by name. But would this be somewhat quantum? Has
Quantum
anyone ever really
is it
released
the
that
invisible quantum?
I don't know.
I've seen some sort of simulation on television where they showed like something moving there that they said would be like on such a small scale that it would look like that. And that's all I remember from that. I don't know what the show was about, why they were showing that. They were probably talking about some physics. I don't know. It's a long time ago.
If there's two versions of you, yes, sandwiched into one, what do you reckon that is about thought process? Do you think your reality are their thoughts and your thoughts is their reality? And you just sort of glimpse in between the two?
That is a good question. What is that? True is somewhere in the middle.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, especially when it comes to light. It's still this invisible you and visible you
Yeah.
on and off. Or is there nothing there entirely? We can stick a whole hand through it. No, we can walk through people and walls. But no, as soon as you zip that on, you would just disappear, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
When you unzip it. Well, I was in the middle of space. Would you fall through the planet?
Huh? You could do.
Yeah, you could. If it was all just nothing and you just zipped in. Where did the zip of nothing go? Oh, you let go of it? Yeah. Why, where is it? It's probably Australia by now. There's imagining you were on top of the world and they were actually at the bottom of
Yes,
the world.
see all of those fairy tales where people put on cloak of invisibility and then they can go anywhere.
Anywhere, how? Or any dimension.
They can just in some fairy tales they have to open doors, but not in all of them. In some of them they just move through the space and probably through the walls as well. And in some others they have to open the doors, but because you don't see them, the other characters in those fairy tales just see opening doors and they are looking if there's someone there. But in many of them they don't open.
You just walk through the
They
door.
just
Well, you're gonna need a
move
really
through
good
the
map.
space.
I'm a whole bunch of something in a bunch of nothing. Alright, okay, sounded like you just summed up the universe, but still. Ushering your invisibility cloak. Okay, I should be in their bedroom right now. I should be safe to take it off. Well, then you're gonna need boots. How do you not fall through the freaking floor? And everything else, and then...
You need some force turned on or something. I don't know.
Unless every different object carried a different nothing that was catalogued, just the same way you catalogue the somethings, and then you begin to catalogue the nothings. It's wood, it's a door, also has a layer of paint. You need this nothing and this nothing. That was probably the first times with dialing. Now it's done automatically. Do you think? And then you could just walk through a door?
Yeah.
Because it then knows what it is, and it knows what the floor is, so it knows to keep you on the floor, but you can then walk through the wall. Oh my god, it's a ghost! It's a ghost!
Yeah.
Are you? We're going to go straight for ghost, but yet you want to ridicule me for saying alien? I just don't get it. Both are equally believable, by the way. One is just more likely to happen. Imagine that. Must be a massive T-Rex ghost somewhere as well.
Yeah.
Skip the Ouija board. It said Ra. It's saying Ra. Do you think we should name the sun after it? Maybe it's the sun trying to communicate with us. It could be, just hear me out, it could be a dinosaur.
Maybe it is talking to the sun. Yeah.
Still, not can. I like it. But still, yeah, what would you do with that then, Pavel?
With what?
Any of that?
I don't know if I can do anything with that myself. but you can walk somewhere and travel maybe, not be seen, and you can listen. And do you want to really? Maybe not. But
I have no idea what all this high-pitched stuff is, but still. You don't
Oh,
have a
Daddy.
multi-changing suit, yes?
oh yeah.
With a little sensor on it, I would say. Just a little sensor. Hitting those dry wall from wood. Just walk up to it and just walk straight through it. You could be right there, listening. Just be like, yo, what's going on? Ghost.
Ghost.
No, it's not a ghost. Not a ghost.
Not a ghost.
Anything that's going to
UFO.
be intelligent life form. Humans. And then would you be able to pick up heat signatures from it? No, because it doesn't. It's surrounded by nothing. It's almost like an impenetrable barrier of nothing.
Then you cannot detect it, and then it can be in the space and you don't know about it. Oh my god. Warlords would love that, wouldn't they? They would create tanks and torpedoes and stuff like that covered by it. Oh my god.
Could you imagine being monitored from all of the nothing? As soon as you put it on, you start noticing fucking camera devices everywhere that you assumed was just empty space, but actually, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, you would see others that are like you didn't know about, maybe. You would put it on and there would be someone standing and you're like, oh, hello. I didn't know you were here. Listening. One big ear, like that.
But then you would move through that.
Yeah,
Maybe the nothings can see you too.
maybe. Maybe in the nothingness there's more nothing than just you.
It's almost like computers do it for you as well, don't they?
Yeah,
Nothing, something.
yeah. Something, nothing. Something, nothing, still something.
But a lot of these somethings and nothings have now made a very big picture
Yeah,
of something.
yeah.
Unexpected from the somethings and nothings.
Oh my.
I'll take a piece of this one, reality. I'll take a bit of this one, quantum. And I bang them together, I have another one.
Yeah.
This is then attracted to another one of these ones, which then is attracted to one of these ones. I squish these two together and look, I got something else. And now I've done this a few times in a really random sort of sequence, and guess what I've got?
What have you got?
A brand new something in the somethings and nothings.
Oh.
Interesting. Very interesting. But yeah, no, So they were being guided, would you say? Could they be? Were they envisioning? Were they all having a story being told by someone in particular that then triggered that imagination? That out-of-body imagination, which was hard to explain. Walk up to a object or a beach or whatever it may be and see symbols. And then begin to write these into the floor while it overlaid. I mean, it would be a pretty good way of getting around uni.
Yeah.
But it's probably, though, the problem, though, of being in the nothing. Do you see the nothing? Do you see through the nothing? Does the nothing see through that? Which probably doesn't, but then if it does, it's mutual then, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, then you have to invent something to see through or whatever.
Just push a little hole of something through this nothing. It's so minute. Oh yeah, I can hear now. that little bit of goes out to a needle. Well, that would be interesting. So just remember to pull your something through before you walk through something else.
Yeah.
If not, I might jag. Oh. Anyway, just kidding, but still, half and half. Quantum minus quantum, something, nothing, nothing, something. Bang it together and you got something else. Unpick it, organize it. And something in the universe goes, beautiful, let's go again. Now this time, I want you meaner. This time I want you cleaner. Now you bring all of those somethings and nothings, bring them over here. Get them over there. Why, what are we doing? We're making a new universe. But we're bringing all the somethings and nothings that were taken to the very end of the somethings and nothings that were being created then, and we're going to install them in the beginning of the somethings and nothings, and then we're going to metastasize it. It's going to grow into something from nothing. And then we're going to collect that, and then we're going to go again. This time, I want you less meaner, but I want you more cleaner. Let's go. Anyway, it is what it is. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Who knows? But yeah, right in the fucking middle. Still, let's leave it there. That's all I want to really chat about, to be honest. Not really much.